The term superstorm was applied to Sandy last October, but when it comes to the East Coast, the original superstorm was the one raging 20 years ago today, a well-predicted nor'easter that dumped 1 to 2 feet of snow on the whole state, and in some places more, something that just doesn't happen very often. Yes, it's been 20 years since the March 1993 storm of the century developed in the Gulf of Mexico and rapidly intensified as it came up the coast, bringing the greatest expanse of heavy snow from any eastern storm since at least the late 1800s. Everywhere in white here got 10 inches or more, parts of 20 states from Alabama to Maine. In western North Carolina, Mount Mitchell picked up 50 inches, nearby Mount LeConte in Tennessee, 56. But the superstorm brought more than just big snows. In Florida, a squall line of severe thunderstorms spawned 11 tornadoes and caused widespread wind damage. And parts of the Florida west coast were inundated by a hurricane-like storm surge of 9 to 12 feet. Washington, D.C. and Richmond, Virginia set their all-time low-pressure records, while farther north, winds gusted to 144 miles per hour on Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Now here's a close-up look at snowfall totals in and around Pennsylvania. The light purple shading means 20 to 30 inches. Red is 30 to 40. Yellow, 40 inches or more. Seven Springs reported about 4 feet, the most in the state. Wellsboro got 37 inches. Lehighton, 32. State College, 28. Shippensburg, 26. Pittsburgh, 25. All in all, about half the state got 20 inches or more. Here's how it looked from space on colorized infrared satellite imagery. Tall clouds exploded over the western Gulf of Mexico on the morning of March 12th and headed east, while also rapidly expanding to the north. By the next day, the huge shield of cold cloud tops covered the entire eastern seaboard as the storm took on the classic comma shape of a powerful mid-latitude cyclone. And here's what was driving the storm in the upper atmosphere. The solid lines here represent pressure up around 20,000 feet the evening of March 12, 1993. The red areas mark the centers of upper air disturbances. There were 3 separate ones at this time over the Midwest, the southern plains, and the northern Gulf. 12 hours later, those disturbances had begun to merge or phase, creating one huge trough over the east, which by later that day had amplified further, complete with a closed upper air low that ensured an historic surface storm with central pressures of 28.35 inches of mercury. About 10 years ago, the National Weather Service developed a scale to rate northeast storms based on snowfall and the size and population of the areas affected. And by that combination, the March 1993 superstorm ranks #1 of all northeast snowstorms, going all the way back to at least the late 1800s. Fred is back with the extended forecast next.